Well, hello there. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all y'all. Welcome to the party. Week 2 Sunday Live. I am your host. Of course, I'm the host with the most because I'm the only one here. So that means I have the most. That's how things work around here. Mike, the Fantasy Hitman Wright, from the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. What is happening, everybody? Week 2. We're getting into it, man. We gotta find that groove, right? We're loosening it up. We are still absolutely in the warm-up phase of the exercise, but we got a little bit more information than we had last week to help us make those really informed decisions. Help us stay away from the tilt. Keep the tilt man away. He's like, people are scared of Slender Man, right? You know, that's a spooky guy. Tilt man. That's the real problem. That's the person we need to talk about. It's Tilt Man sneaking up on your back, putting his little nasty hands. Oh, his fingernails, they are terrible. Tilt Man, you ever heard of that guy? No? It's because I just made him up. Hope you enjoyed that one. Welcome to Sunday Live. We're going to work through the news. We are going to work through some of your start-sit questions. Do my best to help you do your best. That's what we're all about here on Sunday Live. So let's get into the news of the day. You know what I need, Owl Borland? I need like some news music. I need like some you know, like some good 2020 or I don't know, what do they call those news shows these days? 60 minutes. Whatever. We'll think about that. I just, whatever. Always trying to improve. All right, big news of the day. Michael Thomas, he is out. The fantasy gods have at least Michael Thomas. He's going to be out. The fantasy gods have smiled upon us at least a little bit. It's not great. Of course, you would rather have Michael Thomas in there, but the fact that you don't have to head into Monday night going, what do I do with Michael Thomas? It's already been decided for you. Michael Thomas is out. You should have been preparing for that all week, as we had said, but now you can execute your pivot move. I'm sure there will be some questions about what that pivot looks like. Chris Godwin, another situation where you weren't really sure what to do. Now, for Chris Godwin, it's different because this was a concussion situation. Michael Thomas can play through the ankle injury, but it's never a great thing when someone has to play through a high ankle sprain. Chris Godwin, had he played, would have been all systems go, because it was a concussion. However, he is out. Scotty Miller, anybody? I'm very interested in Scotty Miller this week. Kenny Golladay, Detroit Lions superstar wide receiver, will miss his second week in a row with the hamstring injury, although the reports are he is close. He is close to returning. Have to presume that we will see the smooth routes. Do we got the smooth routes on here? How do I operate this thing? I don't know. We'll figure that out someday. I don't even think he's on here. Is he on here? Whatever. Kenny Golladay should be back next week, which is fantastic news. Oh, yeah. Next week will be so look at him on the screen. All right. Get Kenny G out of here. Oh, that. If you're new to the Sunday Live and the YouTube, well, welcome in, number one. The Fantasy Footballers, we've made some upgrades in the studio where before I could never see those graphics, and now I can see them, and they're very funny. Why did no one tell me that our YouTube product was so incredibly amazing? Excellent work there. Owl Borland, Judge Giamatti, holding it down on the ones and the twos in the back. Other news, A.J. Brown is out. He has his the bone bruise in his knee? I don't know. It was not sounding good when Adam Schefter was talking about it. The corpse of Corey Davis might rise yet again. Jamison Crowder is out. You weren't going to play him anyways. Devontae Parker, he is in. He is not in my lineup. He'll be on the field for the Miami Dolphins. I will not be playing him. Look, Devontae Parker comes out, goes off, goes ham. Great. Great for him. Then he's on my bench, and I'll know, hey, I can play Devontae Parker moving forward, but I will not be caught holding that bag. That's not a bag of stuff you want to be holding if Devontae Parker's on the field and does not perform. Let's see. We got other big news. So Miles Sanders, we knew he was going to be in. Philip Lindsay is out. He's going to miss multiple weeks with the toe. Is he safe to drop? Yes. I dropped Philip Lindsay in the Listener League. James Conner. He is the other big story. Actually, George Kittle is out. That was they saved us from having to play George Kittle. But let's talk about James Conner for a little bit. Presumed starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Presumed starter for a team that runs a bell cow system. What happened exactly with James Conner last week? We may never know. But he was on the sideline. Was he actually that hurt that he couldn't come back into the game? Or had Mike Tomlin seen enough for that afternoon or evening, I should say, and said, James Conner, Benny Snell is the better player than you right now. Here is how I am handling the situation with James Conner. I am not starting Benny Snell. I am sitting him on my bench. I am letting that asset I'm just seeing what's happening. I'm going to see if Benny Snell can be the man. For James Conner, I will flex him considering my other options. Now, I am not jumping into the basement of fantasy tiered players. You know, like I've seen some wild questions off the top of my head. It's hard to pull them, but like Steven Sims, wide receiver for Washington. No, I'm going to play James Conner over that. I'm going to take the lumps there because they say Conner's healthy. He was, he had no injury designation. He's going to play. He might be splitting time with Benny Snell, but we shall see how that works out. For me, like I said, I will play James Conner unless I have like another great option. Let's get into the questions. But first, let me have a sip of my delicious beverage. Thanks, everybody. All right, this one's from Andrew. Andrew picked him up off the waiver wire. He grabbed Scotty Miller, and he wants to know Scotty Miller or Cooper Kupp. Now, I like Scotty Miller a lot. He is absolutely a flex play. I am playing him this week. I will get into that. But Scotty Miller or Cooper Kupp, I'm still going to play Cooper Kupp. I'm going to play the man who just got the bag. I know he wasn't really involved last week. It was kind of what I was more expecting for Cooper Kupp, that with the change of the offensive scheme, he will be more hit or miss. Robert Woods is the only reliable option. With shout out to my man Bobby Trees getting paid. Good for you, man. That was incredible news to hear. Yeah. Make it rain, baby. Congratulations. Well deserved for him. But Cooper Kupp is a flex play. Cooper, on a weekly basis, maybe you will get flex output from him. Maybe you'll get wide receiver 1 output for him. But Robert Woods is the only consistent option you can go with right now at the wide receiver position for the Rams. But I'm still playing Cooper Kupp. So anyways, back to Scotty Miller, my dilemma. I brought it up on the podcast. I have Scotty Miller. I have Keenan Allen. Now, that got to the point where it looked like Chris Godwin was going to play. He was back at practice on Friday, was sort of trending in the right direction. Unfortunately, he will be out. He's still in the concussion protocol. He did not clear it. So now it's Scotty Miller as the wide receiver 2 for Tom Brady versus a very susceptible Carolina Panthers team, or Keenan Allen, and I am terrified of the Chargers offense. I know that the matchup is not great. Matchup is great for game script against the Kansas City Chiefs. But other than that, I'm going with Scotty Miller over Keenan Allen. If you want to take that ride with me, let's go, because that's where I'm going to be. You know where I'll be. If you want to join me on that one, it's going to be fun. More Scotty Miller. So Paris Campbell or Scotty Miller in a half PPR. I'm going to go with Scotty there. I like Paris Campbell a lot in full point PPR, but I think the Scotty Miller situation is a little bit better for him. Matt wants to know, full PPR flex, Corey Davis, Antonio Gibson, or Melvin Gordon. All right, full point PPR, this is for your flex. Corey Davis is very interesting here because with the A.J. Brown injury, I like Corey Davis. I like the volume for Melvin Gordon. I wouldn't go as far to say that I like playing Melvin Gordon, but Philip Lindsay is out. The matchup is absolutely brutal for Melvin Gordon. Having said that, That's my way of saying Antonio Gibson, because you have these other options, he's going to sit on my bench for one more week. Jason on the Fantasy Footballers during our podcast, he has expressed some confidence. That confidence warmed my heart. It made me feel good. But if I got Corey Davis in a full-point PPR, that's a dangerous, bumpy train. Hopefully there's not a penny just sitting on the rails waiting to derail that thing. But I'm going to go with Corey Davis because of the full-point PPR. Melvin Gordon should see the lion's share of the carries and the running back targets for the Denver Broncos. But look, man, I'm not going to fully count out Royce Freeman. I think that he is still a good player, and he'll get at least some work. Man, a lot of Scotty Miller questions. But Dan said, okay, this is a great test of our might here. Dan says James Conner or Antonio Gibson. Okay. We're gonna have to go to the official rankings here to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn. So right now I currently have Gibson down in that right around the 30 range, and James Conner is there as well. I got to learn how to spell his name. I have him just a couple spots right behind Antonio Gibson. So this really becomes a heads up. This becomes a pick 'em. This is risky business on both sides. I would say that the risk favors James Conner, that he will end up getting more work than Antonio Gibson with J.D. McKissick and Peyton Barber. Peyton Barber still in front of it. How does a football team put Peyton Barber and his 15 carries for 27 yards in front of stud Antonio Gibson? The NFL is baffling. Sometimes, folks, they do things that's weird. It's really weird when you're like, hey, Peyton Barber, we'll give you 5 tries to get in the end zone, and you manage to do it one of those 5 times. Whatever. I'm not going to tilt. The tilt man will not show up right now about Antonio Gibson. I'm going to play James Conner over him, even though I have them very close in the rankings. It's just an assessment of risk, and that's a fun place to be. Next question comes in from Herb. Or Herb. I don't know. It's one of those two. Probably Herb. Would you call him Herb, guys? Herb.
I'd go with Herb.
Herb. What's up, Herb? Standard League. Peterson. Oh, man. I can't believe we're still doing this. Adrian Peterson is he's incredible. Standard League, Adrian Peterson, or the Lazard King, Alan Lazard of the Green Bay Packers, not to be confused with the Lizard King of the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, this one is rough. I like Aaron Rodgers. I like the weapons. I like Aaron Rodgers against the Detroit Lions. And Peterson's going to get a bunch of work, man. It's hard to doubt Peterson in this situation. I believe that I'm working through it. This becomes a floor and a ceiling play for me. If you need a floor play, look at your roster. I can't give you the full context of everything in this Sunday Live because, look, Herb, I know you think it's all about you and your one question, but it's not. I got a lot of more questions I got to get to, Herb, if that is your real name, Herb. So this is ceiling and floor. What do you need? Lazard would be the ceiling play. Peterson, if you just need to get a running back who's going to get like 12 carries, the possibility of some goal line work. That's where I would go. Gregory wants to know, rootin' tootin', booty scootin' Cam Newton. Booty scootin' Cam Newton. Oh. Or Drew Brees. I apologize, Michael Thomas less Drew Brees. Look, I just throw that out there to make it easier when I'm going to say it's Cam Newton. If you've been following the podcast this week, I am back. I am in with Cam Newton. Dude looks healthy. Healthy Cam Newton does equal fantasy success. I mean, the dude, what's the stat? If he's played 16 games, he's a top 5 quarterback. Cam Newton is the offense for this team. He is everything. He is the engine. So that gives me the confidence against Seattle to play him over Drew Brees. Brees is fine this week against the Raiders, but that's where I'm going. All right. Bryce says Devontae Parker or Antonio Gibson. That's the case. We did it. We found one where I'm going with Antonio Gibson. I didn't want to go through all these questions and say I'm never playing Antonio Gibson because I'm in, but I'm not playing Devontae Parker. Lance wants to know Nirvana or the Smashing Pumpkins. That's an easy one. It is clearly Nirvana. Why are people ask this question? Nirvana or the Pumpkins are fine. I mean, they got some bangers like 1979. That's a hot jam. But come on, Nirvana, child, please. Next question is from Autumn. Autumn wants to know Cortland Sutton or Will Fuller PPR. All right. So Cortland Sutton is playing. He's back from his shoulder injury. Well, in relative terms, he's back like he's back on the field. His shoulder is still hurt, but apparently he is being a man. Do we have the man drop in here? Do I got that anywhere? Ah. All right. Cortland Sutton is being a man these days. And Fuller, the reason why this question is like interesting to me, because Will Fuller is playing against the Baltimore Ravens, and the Baltimore Ravens, they should keep you up at night. They should be a terrifying team. You don't want to play your players against the Baltimore Ravens. Even you can spin it and say, well, they're going to be negative game script. They're going to have to be throwing. I am concerned for the Houston Texans this week, all of them against the Baltimore Ravens. Having said that, Fuller is still the one. He will still see the target volume that in a full-point PPR. I'm going to play him confidently over Cortland Sutton, despite him being a man. It's still an injured shoulder, and I would prefer to avoid that if possible. And, look, Will Fuller is high enough tier that I'm going to do it. Will Webb. Willie Webb wants to know, half point, Ingram, as in Mark Ingram, I. Is he I or I? We got to get to the bottom of this, guys. Mark Ingram. Is he the second or the third? Whatever. Mark Ingram.
The second.
Mark Ingram, I, sir. Or now I've completely lost myself. And I lost that question, but the answer was, in fact, Mark Ingram. I got lost in the joke. All right. Anthony wants to know Mike, as Anthony says, Mike Gesicki. We've dropped the I, so now he's just Gesicki with it. Or Eric Ebron, also known as one reception Eric Ebron from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Eric Ebron is, the red zone go-to weapon, says Juju Smith-Schuster catching all the touchdowns. Eric Ebron is fine, but Mike Gesicki, opportunity upgrade with Devontae Parker limited. I know Parker's on the field. That might be even better for Mike Gesicki running the tight end routes out of the slot while the defense still has to pay attention to Devontae Parker. So I am easily going Mike Gesicki over Eric Ebron here. I'm not madly in love with Gesicki, and I'm not forcing his way into my lineup, but I'm going to play him over Eric Ebron. Next question from Alan Cruz. Now I will not lose myself because this one is Mark Ingram, I, or Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown starting running back for the Los Angeles Rams. I think he's the starter. Now, Cam Akers still got plenty of work. And if you listen to the show on Friday, I did take the under. I took the less on Malcolm Brown's rushing yards, but that doesn't mean that I don't believe in the fantasy output for Malcolm Brown. He's going to still catch a few passes. He is the goal line back. We know that for sure. Because he's pretty good at it. I am concerned about Mark Ingram. The workload, maybe Ingram can definitely come out week 2 here, shut all those concerns down. He gets back to 13-plus carries with some goal line opportunity, but this is a very important week. I know we're early. I don't ever want to say make or break week 2 because it's week 2. That's a bold proclamation to bury a player 2 weeks into the season. But Mark Ingram becomes bench fodder if he doesn't have himself opportunity this week. I'm going to go with Malcolm Brown. Alan, I'm going to take him over Mark Ingram. Aye, sir. Next question comes in from Father Curtis, if that is your real name, Father Curtis. DJ Chark, do, or Stefon Diggs, half-point PPR. Ooh, okay. This is a difficult one because we don't know yet the truth about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. They opened it up big time. I think Josh Allen had over 300 yards through the air, and if I am not mistaken, could be, because sometimes you throw off statistics from the top of your head. I think that's the first time that's ever happened. Josh Allen was allowed to open it up. That included Stefon Diggs. That included John Brown. These guys all had decent games. And even though the situation where the game script against Miami should be run, that's what it was last week too. And they still opened up the passing game. I'm going with Stefon Diggs here. I'm taking Stefon Diggs. Am I taking Stefon? Nope. Scratch that. I forgot we were talking about DJ Chark here. Let's get my guy. Let's get DJ Chark. Let's get him going against the Tennessee Titans. Look, Gardner, 19 for 20. I know that Chark only had the 3, but he had a touchdown. Like the people who are like, man, DJ Chark, the dude had a touchdown last week. Like, take it easy, people. DJ Chark, he's in. I think Gardner has to throw a little bit more. Before we get into a couple more questions here, I want to thank today's sponsor, PristineAuction.com. Pristine Auction is the best sports memorabilia. That was a word. Memorabilia site on the planet, the universe. Look, throw the Fermi paradox out the window. I'm proclaiming it. Best sports memorabilia site in the universe. Until an alien wants to prove otherwise, that's what I will keep saying. Signed jerseys, signed cleats, signed gloves, signed pylons, anything you want, signed by sports figures you know, you love, even some cool movie stuff, like any kind of collection stuff. It's not just sports on Pristine Auction. But anyways, check them out. We thank them for supporting the show. Use the code BALLERS when you make your completely free account, and you're going to get a $10 credit off your first purchase. All right, we got time for a couple more questions before the tilt man starts creeping in over here on my own lineup decisions. But Johnny wants to know, full point PPR, Terry McLaurin or Darius Slayton? All right. Do you go with the known stud, Terry McLaurin? Because I will make no mistake about this. Terry McLaurin is a known stud. I know he was a 50-yard guy last week, but he is an absolute stud. Or Darius Slayton could be. He could be a stud. We're not exactly sure. Matchup, kind of even. You know, Terry McLaurin might see a bit of the Patrick Peterson experience. They will move him around a little bit. Darius Slayton, the Giants are playing the Bears. Do I have that right? Anyone? Do I got a fact-checking team over here?
That's correct.
Yeah. So the Bears defense as a whole, it's not necessarily the greatest matchup for anybody. I'm going to take Terry McLaurin here, but I got my eye on Darius Slayton. It was a very impressive week 1. Golden Tate is back for the New York Giants, so he will be, on the field running rounds. Evan Engram really didn't do anything last week, so I'm going to hold off on forcing Darius Slayton into my lineup over someone like Terry McLaurin while I see what a full-strength New York Giants team looks like. Does that turn into sustained production for just one guy, Darius Slayton, or is it you're spinning the wheel every single week and hoping that it lands on your guy? Meanwhile, Terry McLaurin, he's the dude. If there's passing production for the Washington football team, it's going to Terry McLaurin, and Logan Thomas this week against Arizona. All right, couple more quick questions before I got to get out of here. Juan wants to know Paris Campbell, Marvin Jones, full PPR. Oof. Okay, the full PPR, that makes it difficult. Okay, I'm still going to go with Marvin Jones here. Last week was a little bit of a disappointment. I totally get that. But I'm going to take him in the matchup against Green Bay. Paris Campbell looking like a great PPR flex option, backup option, just hanging out on your bench. You never know when you never know when you're going to need to break out Paris Campbell. Get him in that starting lineup knowing that he's good for 5 to 6 receptions. But Marvin Jones should be good for that amount of work as well, plus increased opportunity to score touchdowns because generally that's what Marvin Jones does, and that's what we need him to do this week. Let's get it done, Marvin Jones. I say that because I know that Marvin Jones actually is a big supporter of Sunday Live here for the Fantasy Footballers. Thank you for watching, Marvin Jones. You should probably be warming up and getting ready for your football game. Next question. Gabriel wants to know Hines or Swift. Whew. All right. The sweat is over. I finally made it to a question where I think the answer is easy. Nyheim Hines. Swift is the pass-catching running back for a team that is employing 3 running backs. No thank you. Nyheim Hines, 2 running back system, P. River, always checking it down. Get it done. Nyheim Hines. I will also be playing Nyheim Hines in like every league because I drafted him, and so I will be with you. Next question, PPR. Nathan says, Juju or Johnny Taylor? Okay, the PPR, I get it. The PPR might be persuading you not to play Jonathan Taylor, and that would be a terrible mistake. You got to play Jonathan Taylor. Come on now. JT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Johnny T, whatever you want to call him, you get him in the lineup. High T. Let's talk about a dude who's got testosterone just flowing through his fingernails. Oh, my goodness. Have you seen this man? Jonathan Taylor is going to be an absolute beast, and PPR does not persuade you to put someone else in Jonathan Taylor. What do you have, 6 receptions as a rookie debut? Dude's a beast. Jonathan Taylor, locked top 10 running back on a weekly basis until we see otherwise. Final question of the day here goes to Sly Fly Fox. Moore versus Perryman. Half-point PPR. I believe this is DJ Moore. I don't know. There's a lot of guys with the name. Jason Moore? If it's Jason Moore from the Chargers, I would play Perryman over that dude. But if it's DJ Moore, pump the brakes, take a breath, do a downward dog, right into Warrior 1, center yourself, peace, inner peace. DJ Moore is fine. He had 9 targets last week. He was still the primary guy. It just didn't work out. Robbie Anderson hit on the big broken play. Don't let that poison your body. Like I said, Goose Fraba, in, good in, out bad. We almost did. I was doing so well until I did not stick the landing, and I crumpled upon my face. Thank you for joining me for Sunday Live. I am Mike the Fantasy Hitman Wright. You can find me on Twitter at FFHitman. Good luck, everybody. I wish you nothing but the best, unless you are playing me somewhere like the Listener League, and then I wish the worst upon you and your fantasy football team. Remember, keep it beautiful. Mwah. See you next week.